Hey, Amy. What do you think of my new ride?
Heartland Season 18 continues strong as always. The second episode just got released and it did an amazing job in serving that unique Heartland charm. And it only makes it harder to wait for the upcoming third episode of the series. So, without further ado, let's talk about the key points in the second episode of Heartland and what will happen in the third episode of the hit series. Well, the most important thing that happened in episode 2 was Caleb's highly anticipated return. And what a return that was. His epic landing with his plane and the happy look in his face was to die for. Honestly, Caleb is one of those characters to me that when he smiles, he makes it feel like everything will be all right. But let me know what you think of him. Thankfully, Amy was matching his energy perfectly. She was also very happy to see him and ready to spend her days with him, which is exactly what happened. However, this time, on top of the usual "we are besties" vibes, the show also builds some sexual tension between the two characters. And, not gonna lie, this was not on my 2024 bingo card. And I bet a lot of you guys also found it very strange and perhaps even controversial. But let me know what you think of it in the comments below. If you missed it, the scene I'm talking about is when Caleb was staying in the Heartland Ranch, and he bumped into Amy basically naked. Like, yes, he was wearing his underwear, but that was it. When you add the fact that half of the episode was Caleb staring at Amy with extreme longing, it becomes pretty clear that there will be something between the two in one way or another. And yes, it will be no longer possible for them to remain just friends despite all this RO around them. To her credit, Amy does not seem to be charmed by Caleb all that much, at least romantically. But still, the fact that he is taking care of Lindy, helping at the ranch, sharing a huge past with Ty, and constantly praises him to this day clearly impresses Amy. For they are solving mysteries about horses together while also mourning Ty. They have a lot in common, so I doubt if she can remain numb to Caleb's very obvious interest towards her. But of course, this means a love triangle is pending. In this episode, Nathan and Amy finally had the highly expected conversation in which Amy demanded Nathan to be more open while Nathan refused to do so. During the conversation, Amy was obviously emotional, telling Nathan that she wouldn't be okay with being with a man who does not open up basically broke her heart, because she genuinely likes this guy and wishes deep down that he would make an effort to be more honest and open with her. The same thing is valid for Nathan as well. Despite liking Amy so much, since he got hurt a lot in the past, he finds it extremely difficult to change his usual attitude and be more vulnerable about his past. And to be honest, I kind of sympathize with him. Even though this conversation ended with them deciding not to move towards with their romantic endeavors, it was clear that this was not the end of their story. Plus, the half of the episode was Lou and Nathan hanging out together, and Lou getting to know him better. If you watched episode 1, you might remember that Lou was basically the one who told Amy that she wouldn't be happy with such a guy. She made it very clear that she does not approve of Nathan, and Amy listened to her big sister. But now, as Lou got to know Nathan better, it is likely that her advice to Amy on him will be completely different. I don't know about you guys, but I started to feel very bad for Nathan, and I believe episode 2 was the beginning of his redemption arc, and episode 3 will be the one that everyone sees the value in him. In episode 3, Nathan will confront Amy about her relationship with Caleb, because at the very end of episode 2, he saw them hugging. Even though it was actually a friendly hug, he assumed that Amy had a new boyfriend. The thing is, from Caleb's perspective, Nathan is not so wrong to assume that there is something between Amy and Caleb. But it is unfair to Amy to make such assumptions without talking to her. So I believe he will speak to Amy about this in one way or another. Amy will clarify that they are just friends. And she will realize that when Nathan believes she's taken, she feels pretty bad, which is a sign that she has feelings for Nathan. She will consult Lou as always, and will realize that Lou is no longer a Nathan hater. So, Amy will decide to give Nathan one more chance, which will be the scene that we saw in the trailer where they danced together. Of course, this will be bad for Caleb. Yes, he will also be on a date at the same time, but he will realize that he is more interested in Amy than his date. In fact, he will realize that he is basically in love with Amy. Okay, is it just me? Or is this season progressively moving toward an ending that will force Amy to pick between Caleb and Nathan? I mean, I can already tell that this won't be an easy decision for her, but I believe episode 3 will be the determining episode in shaping her final decision. In this episode, Nathan will try to prove himself to the Heartland Ranch that he is not their enemy. If he fails to achieve this, there is no future for him and Amy. But if he manages to do that, then Caleb would have to bring more than his muscles to the table to be the more attractive choice for Amy. But let me know, who are you rooting for in this complicated love triangle? For more content on Heartland, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might also interest you.